Alright, so first of all, I'll start this off by saying I gotta be a little bit quiet because Brittany's in the other room sleeping. It's a little late. Um, I was staying up. It's Friday night, you know. I'm an adult. I can do what I want on the weekends at least. I was staying up a little bit, finishing up this video that I had started for these three figures, and I mean, you know, if you're a long time viewer, maybe you tuned in for the LooseCollector rant that I put out a few months ago. Like, you know, I got a pretty, uh, let's say, mixed history with LooseCollector, with this company, with these figures. Um, and let me also throw in that I don't know if I am just the unluckiest motherfucker alive when it comes to these things. I know there's people out there that have had issues with these figures, but I don't think I've come across anyone who has had so many so consistently with just about every single figure that they have bought from this company. I think, with the exception of Red Sonia, which I don't have anymore, every one of the figures that I've gotten from LooseCollector has at least some sort of problem or defect or breaks or something like that. So, like I said, I don't know if I'm the most unlucky person on the planet. I don't know if maybe LooseCollector secretly is sending me like defects because they hate my videos, they don't like me, and I don't know, they just want to send me trash. I'm obviously joking. I don't know, but like I said, I was probably, I mean, I don't know, halfway. I'll say halfway through the video I was doing on unboxing these and going over them, and I started with Lady Satanis. And you know, I had some positive stuff to say. There's definitely some negatives here, but overall, Lady Satan is probably the least egregious out of the three here. You'll notice that La Muerta is actually sitting right now, which I will get to in a minute. This is pretty much the catalyst for why I was like, you know what? I'm just doing a regular video right now, you know, just going over the figures and talking about stuff, and you know, maybe giving a little backstory into my history with this line and this company and all that. But then when I got to La Muerta and things started happening, I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm let's just scrap this. Let's scrap this. I've been rambling and rambling, you know, whatever. The video is probably going to be entirely too long as it is, so I'm gonna condense this down. I'm not gonna go over everything that I went over before. Um, like I said, the recording that I was doing before, it was just a regular, you know, here's a couple of problems, here's a couple of problems, but it was a pretty normal video. This is gonna be not angry. I'm not angry. I'm more just like, okay, yeah, that's pretty much what I figured. Where to start? I guess we can start with Chaotica because she's the only other one that I have slightly fewer complaints with. I like again, talking about defects and stuff. I do have a very noticeable factory defect on mine, and I don't know. People, I've been accused of like purposely breaking these things and manipulating shit and whatever. It's like, shut up, shut up. I don't know how I would manipulate this or do this on my own. I didn't. This is how it came out of the box, and I can pull up a photo because I was looking at this. I'm like, what is that white stuff on her lip? It's like, that's supposed to be like some sort of accent, or maybe it's because she's like she's got all this white motif going on. Maybe it's like some sort of lipstick or something. But no, that is her teeth. It's supposed to be her teeth, but they are dripping down her bottom lip. So her teeth have melted and are falling down her bottom lip. So that's great. And I had a whole thing where I was talking about how just kind of boring this head sculpt was in general. And sorry for the sniffling too. I'm getting over being sick. I will put up a picture of the Chaotica that they used to sell me and anyone else who pre-ordered these figures. I could pull up Satanis and La Muerta too, but those aren't as egregious. And once again, you know, if like I'll have it up on screen right now, you'll see like it looks completely different. And I was thinking about it when I was like mulling over how I wanted to redo this video, and the best analogy that I came up with was looking at, again, I'll put it up on screen again, looking at this picture. All right, now it's gone. And looking at this figure after you just got done looking at that, it reminds me of like when you buy a bootleg figure off of AliExpress and they use like the promotional regular pictures, you know, like if it's a SH Figure Arts, they use like the promo pictures that Figure Arts uses to sell the figure to you, and then when you get it in hand, it looks nothing like it. I mean, it's like it's the same figure kind of, but like the paint's bad and it looks way cheaper. It looks way worse. It looks flat. Like I swear to God, LooseCollector makes bootlegs of their own shit. Like just and here, oh my God, sniffles. And here's like the other thing. I did notice that after I made the Taarna video and especially after I made the other LooseCollector video that, I mean, for me, blew up. You know, it was like 10, 11,000 views. I did notice, like, the next time I saw pictures of LooseCollector stuff being advertised, they do have little blurbs at, like, the top or the bottom now that says, like, actual product shown or prototype shown. So, I mean, you're not as clever as you think you are, LooseCollector. I noticed. Kind of funny how that only happened after I accused you of false advertising, because it was. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. People can come at me in the comments and be like, oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's a prototype, you know, like, you know, paint jobs don't always match on everything, and you know, Hasbro show stuff, and then these companies show stuff. It's like, yeah, okay. You know, if Hasbro shows a figure and it's a 3D render and the actual product in hand comes out and doesn't look as good as a 3D render, I only paid $25 for that figure. So maybe I'll be a little salty, but at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, whatever. It's a Hasbro figure. It's gonna go on the shelf, and then eventually maybe a better company will make it. And I'll make this character, or I'll replace it anyways. With these are $75, $80. So like, there's a difference. And then some other people are like, oh, well, LooseCollector, they're a small company. Like, you can't blah blah blah. It's like, all right, that's another really tired argument, and I'm really tired of yeah, it's a tired argument that I'm tired of responding to. Especially nowadays. I mean, you have on AliExpress right now, there's a company called CT Toys, and I will put up some pictures of these they're just making bootlegs of Reveltech and Figure Arts and stuff like that. And some of these are just as good as the official ones. And when it comes to like their, I don't have it. I don't really plan on buying because I don't collect the Spider-Verse stuff. But they have that Spider-Man 2099 that a lot of people say is actually better than the Figure Arts one, like the official Figure Arts one. It's like, okay, so you have a little third-party bootleg company putting some of these bigger companies to shame. And then, I mean, if you want to keep on that end of the world, you have companies like Patriot Studios, Lim Toys, what is it, Bro Toys. There's so many different names, and some of these like, they have to keep changing the name to stay ahead of, like, you know, copyright lawyers and stuff like that. I mean, I did a review. I've done a couple of these. I did the Joel and Ellie from Lim Toys. I think it was Lim Toys. And then I did it was like Play One, what they were called before. I did their Darth Maul, which is an incredible little figure. And that, I think the Darth Maul cost me, I think it was like $85. So $5 to $10 more than one of these. And that thing blows these away by a country mile. And, you know, you have, like I said, companies like Lim Toys making Hot Toys sideshow quality pieces in 6-inch scale, which is just insane. Like, I have the Lim Toys Joker, we have the Leon Kennedy. I got the Patriot Studios Leon Kennedy too, which is, again, fantastic. And, you know, you want to talk about smaller companies, like, technically speaking, Mafex is a smaller company as well. So this is $80 and this is $80. So, I mean, can you tell me why this looks the way that it does, and then this doesn't look as good as the pictures that they sell these on? Again, just to keep harping on that. I know, like, somebody's gonna come at me in the comments, well, they say now prototype and actual products. Like, yeah, okay. Years after the fact. And that's another thing, is people are like, oh, well, they're a new company. It's like, well, relatively speaking, sure. But they have also, I do not specifically remember when Lady Death came out. It was like 2018, 2019. I know it was pre-COVID, because I remember there was a lot of shipping delays because of COVID. So it was pre-2020. And they have made, off the top of my head, I don't know, but I would say at least, I think they're in the double digits now. I think at least like 10 figures so far since Lady Death, because they've had, there's a few that I haven't bought. Like there's like, what is it, She or Shy or something, like the Asian one. There's Critter. There was the Rocketeer, Hyde, a bunch of other ones. The Hyde, especially that one, I heard that one had some horrific paint rub on that, paint chipping and stuff. So like they've been doing this for 5-6 years. I mean, at least producing figures for about 5 years, close to 5 years. They're at least in the double digits of released figures so far. So you would think by this point in time, they would have most of this shit figured out. So, okay, Lady Death was a little rough, but it was still pretty okay. But, you know, it's their very first figure. Let's move on to, well, I don't even remember who came next. I think it was Hell Witch, Purgatory, which I also don't have. You know, I bought the Hell Witch. She was really expensive. I think she was like $100. And so like I'm rambling, but like my overall point is like you're paying $75 to $80 for these. The quality, especially in the paint, is not there. They're still doing the rashy, you know, over spray or the spray gun. Like this one, Katika's not too bad, but she does have a rash on her face. But then you can see on say Taarna's here, she's got a crotch rash, she's got a belly rash, titty rash, all sorts of rashes, all sorts of rashy. And then on this one especially, this was a problem with the Vampirella, is that the thigh cuts don't line up with the knee cut, so it has this weird kind of gappy problem going on there. And then on my copy specifically, there's like a big indent right there. So that looks terrible. So it's like no matter where you bend it, like if you put it like right there, see, there's like a hole. If you haven't kind of like the more neutral pose, but I mean, no matter where you put it, it's always looking kind of fucky. So that's not great. I did praise the stands because it was nice to get like an actual stand, and they work really well. I mean, you can see like I had her standing on it. They clip into the feet real nice, and they keep the figure up. I mean, it's kind of the bare minimum for what a stand should be, but you know, hey, whatever. But I did notice in typical LooseCollector fashion, they still managed to fuck that up too by not even printing it like the right way. Oops. You can see this is the top of the stand. So you would think if you have the figure stand in there, you would want LooseCollector to be seen on the top, like readable, but it's printed upside down on the bottom of it for some reason. So even that, they can't even get that right. It's just LooseCollector right up on top. That would look a lot better, but hey, you know, that's why I don't make the big bucks. But anyways, like I said, Lady Satanis is fine. It's mostly like that thigh bit right there. There's a couple of spots of bad paint, but my main complaint with her was that the paint just looks cheap. It doesn't look, and I'll pull out some comparisons in a minute here. It doesn't look any better than something Jada Toys puts out, or something Hasbro was putting out a few years ago, or God, even like the Mattel stuff, like the any of their Jurassic Park shit or anything like that. It doesn't really look much better. And again, like I said, I'll pull out some of these figures because I do actually own some of them now since the last time I made a video on these. I do own some of the Jada stuff and some other things, and we can put those side by side and see what another smaller company can do for half the price. But anyways, that's going to bring us to La Muerta here. So like I said, you'll notice she's sitting down. And this one is especially disappointing because this was actually the one that I was looking forward to the most out of all of these. Because like I had explained in the other video, I had already pre-ordered these and they had already been paid off by the time I had hit my breaking point with LooseCollector and was like, all right, you know what? I'm done supporting this company. I'm done giving them money. Unfortunately, it was after these figures were already paid off, and I was like, I don't want to deal with the headache of trying to get a refund, or they'll probably try and jip me on it, or oh, we'll give you like 75% or whatever, or just deny it flat out. I was like, fine, I'm just gonna let it ride, see what happens, and if anything, I'll get to make a video on it. So win-win. I mean, well, mostly win for them because they got my money. But yeah, she was the one I was looking forward to the most, and out of all of these, I was more than likely going to end up keeping her and trading in or selling these two, Chaotica and say Taarna's. And I was like, yeah, I'll keep LaMarcha because she's actually a pretty badass looking character, right? So yeah, the one that I'm looking forward to the most, of course, has the absolute worst, and there it goes, has the absolute worst QC. I wouldn't say out of all of the figures that I've gotten, because it's not broken, but it came out of the box as soon as I picked it up. I noticed how loose it was, and as I was doing that, I was like, okay, wow, that's awesome. The legs just came right out. Now, luckily, this isn't broken. It looks like maybe the glue just came loose or something, but again, this is a $75 fucking figure, man, and I am so tired of having to say that. I've had to say it so many times talking about these fucking LooseCollector figures, dude. Like, just, it's a $75 figure. It shouldn't be like this. I don't know how many more times I can say it. It's so beyond infuriating. It's like, you pay all this money for something and you're expecting something of quality, and then you get a loose piece of shit, just like Taarna, just like Lady Death, and some of these other ones. And that's not the only thing. For whatever reason, they decided to make it so you can remove her belt whenever you want. And instead of, and I don't know really how else they could have done it, but maybe some sort of peg or something where you can just kind of pop it out and take it off. But no, you have to take off the entire torso, which, to be fair, they did make it in a way that makes it easy to take it off. But this also being LooseCollector, they made it in a way that makes it easy to come off. So if you're trying to do like any sort of poses where you have to move her torso, or you're trying to get into like a crouch down pose, I mean, first of all, you can't have her look up because the hair sculpt, but the fucking legs. This is very, very loose. It comes off with hardly any pressure at all. But anyways, moving past that, that's whatever. You can overlook that. I can put some super glue on there and wiggle it around and get it a lot tighter. That's fine. I can fix the legs. That's fine. But again, moving on, of course, I would reiterate, the one I was looking forward to the most has the most defects. And moving on to the belt, and I'm sure somebody will accuse me of this or accuse me of that, but this is legitimately how it came out of the box. And I noticed that when I was trying to put the knife in, because I know how to handle expensive figures. I know how to handle import figures. I've learned my lesson with older stuff. I've broken my share of wrist pegs and stuff like that. I know how to handle these figures. I am an adult. I am responsible. I'm not manhandling these. I know how to treat things gently. And I noticed as I was pushing the knife in, this was kind of coming up, and then I seen, and it's really hard to make out on camera, but there is a rip in the belt right there. This is, and again, it's hard to see, but it is hanging on by a thread. And that is exactly how I took it out of the box. I took it out of the box. I figured out, okay, so this comes off, and I was putting it on like that, and the knife's in her hand right now just because of I had to set it up for filming. But like I said, I was pushing the knife in, and I had my thumb like here, like this, and I was pushing it in, not pushing hard at all, and I noticed that little tear, and I was like, son of a bitch. And again, that's when I was like, all right, we're starting this over. This is going to be a completely different video. It wasn't going to be LooseCollector Rant Part 2, but here we are. LooseCollector Rant Part 2. So again, like I said, the leg problem, fixable. The torso problem, fixable. The belt, I don't know, just because of the type of plastic, it might be fixable with super glue, but I don't feel like that's going to hold up over time. I don't know. Again, this I'll probably be getting rid of this figure. Either trade it to a friend or take it into the store, whatever. It's just, again, disappointing because this was the one that I had planned on keeping. I was excited for it. Whatever. So it's just, I'm so frustrated. I don't even really know what to say. I'm really having a hard time understanding like these die-hard LooseCollector fans like just being completely blind to one, just how aggressively mediocre these figures look. Like, sure, like from a distance, I'm like, oh cool, it's like a sexy slutty Scarlet Witch or Emma Frost or whatever. It's like that, whatever. But you get close up, you start looking at them, and you're like, wow, this isn't that great, is it? Like, why do they look like they have rashes? Why do they, like, my overall point of this is, why are we praising aggressive mediocrity? Like, why are we simping for this company as if like they're God's gift to toy collector? Like, I don't understand the mentality of some of these people. It's like, I guess, I mean, there's gonna be obsessive fanboys over everything, I suppose. But again, so that getting back to the mediocrity point, like I said, the paint on these looks so fucking cheap. And again, like this is supposed to look like a comic book, or like, it's supposed to look like they took it off the page of a comic, and they did a really good job. But you can see like there's subtle shading when there needs to be shading, the way that it's sculpted, the way that the face is painted, the eyes, everything, like it looks professional. And this cost the same amount as one of these figures did. But if you want to be even more critical and maybe even slightly unfair, let's start pulling in some Marvel Legends. I'll put these up. So again, here's a Marvel Legends Black Widow. Fantastic looking figure. Move Superman out of the way. $25. Here's the new Phoenix. Again, pretty effing good. This one was $50, but if the figure was just on its own like this, $25. Oh, hey, and I forgot to mention, Black Widow came with 3 different heads, by the way. None of these came with a single alternate head sculpt, so yeah, just throwing that out there too. Here we go. Custom Rogue. Technically, probably cost $75 with all the figures that I got for it, but on its own, if this was released by Hasbro, $25. Put her there. What else we got? Emma Frost. I actually have her using one of Chaotica's power effects. I just want to see what it looked like. $25. Looks fantastic. Chris, I hear you saying like those are Hasbro figures. Those are from $1 billion company. Like you can't expect them to compete with that. Okay. $25. $25. $25. What do these all have in common? Oh, hey, yeah, they're from a smaller company that just recently branched out into making action figures. Oh, what's that? These all come with alternate heads, alternate hands, power effects. Oh, but Chris, I hear you say, the LooseCollector stuff comes with power effects and extra hands. Okay. Let's move on. I guess let's bring up like the most unfair comparison here. M. Bison. Great example. So I'm going to put him here for a sec. Actually, here. What do you notice about M. Bison besides the fact that he looks fantastic for what you pay for him? $25. What the hell? What do you notice here? Oh, what's that? Is that a cloth goods cape that actually looks really good? And it's wired? On a $25 figure? What? What's that you say? Why is Chaotica wearing a garbage bag instead of a nice cloth goods robe with a wire in it to make it easier for posing? Why does she have this ugly, horrific looking plastic shell that makes it so she can't even really look straight? Like she's constantly kind of looking up and off to the side. This looks terrible. You meaning to tell me for $75, $80 you can't find it in you to just throw in a cheap, even like just anything like just a cloth? It doesn't even have to have a wire in it, just a regular cloth goods cloak or a cape. Like, you really mean to tell me you could not figure that out? Seriously? Really? For $80? $75? Same goes for Satanis here. Awful, awful, awful plastic cape. Nobody will ever convince me except for very specific situations, that a plastic cape is anywhere near better than a cloth goods one with a wire in it. Like you can't. Even a cloth goods cape without a wire. Cloth goods will always beat plastic capes, hands down, all the time. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care. But then, what's that I hear you saying? Oh, well, you were comparing them to new Hasbro figures. You're comparing them to new Hasbro figures. That's not fair. They use the face scanning printing techniques. Okay, well, here's a black cat figure from 2015? Can you explain to me why this looks better than a $75 figure? Oh, well, okay. How about this one? White Rabbit from Spider-Man. Again, this was before the face scanning, face printing techniques. This was like whatever methods they use at the factory to print these. That looks great. What about this? I got the female Loki. Again, with the I don't want to say hand painted, but it's not the 3D scan stuff or the face scan stuff. She doesn't have the lobster claw hands, which are horrible, but whatever. Why do these old Hasbro Marvel Legends, how do these still look good in comparison to the LooseCollector stuff? Like, can anyone explain that to me? Like, especially Black Cat. Man, that is still such a good figure. Like, if the articulation was better on that, like, no, they would never even need to make a new Black Cat, but still. Oh, here. $75 for this. This came with, like, all the extra hands that you could ever need, a power effect, multiple different face plates, all that stuff. $75 for that. Like, I'm just saying, it's like I said, why are we rewarding mediocrity? Why are we defending this company as if, like I said, as if they're like the second coming of the toy messiah? Like, I can't wrap my head around it. I really can't. And I know I'll have people in the comments that are like, "Oh, I had no issues with mine, blah blah blah. You just don't know how to handle figures and whatever the fuck." Yeah, sure, whatever you say, bud. Good for you. Your stuff's not broken. Like I said, every single one of these figures, like I said, with the exception of Red Sonja, my main problem with that was that it looked like shit compared to the promotional pics that they used to sell it. Which, if you go back and look at that video and those pictures that I pulled up, nowhere does it say prototype shown in any of those pictures, by the way. That's how they sold those to us. But yeah, so this is already going on longer than I would like it to also, but to wrap this up, man, like, don't buy this shit. Why are people buying these? No, actually, no, I know why, because there's like a bunch of these YouTubers out there, like these toy reviewers. I don't know. I don't understand like why nobody else feels the need to kind of talk about this besides me. Like I've kind of been relegated to like he's the anti-LooseCollector guy. Like everyone else loves these figures. Like why? Like, are we getting different things? Because I've watched a couple of these videos and like, no, that's the same figure that I got, and it looks like it has the same defects that the one I had does, but like they're completely ignoring it and just gushing over this little company that's just scamming people. Like, it's plain and simple. It's a fucking scam. And that's the price you gotta pay for sexy figures. Like, they're not even fucking sexy, dude. Like, if you want to get weird like that, they're not even sexy. Like, okay, sure, just, monkey neurons. Like, yeah, okay, big titties, awesome. But it's like, also, it's a fucking action figure. Like, it's got joints and seams. Like, you really, like, that does it for you? Like, you're getting off to that? It's like, I can appreciate it, like, the same way I can appreciate, like, a sculpture of, like, a beautiful woman. It's like, yeah, it's like a work of art, but I'm not jacking off to it. Like, what the fuck? This is that argument goes completely out the window. Like, I don't understand. Like, I mean, whatever. Kink shaming, whatever the fuck. I just, like I said, they're not even sexy. Because they, you know what? Yeah, fuck you. Okay, so neutral doesn't look too bad, but this is like the downside of having half nude characters on an action figure body like this, is you get that awful, nasty, like pancake double cheek thing going on. The black void, as I like to call it. Like that gets you going, That's sexy. That looks good to people. Ugh. It looks awful. It's like, so like I'm not getting these just for the sex appeal. I'm getting them because like I thought they looked cool, and the pictures that they sold these to me on looked fantastic. And I said, there's a lot of stuff I'm reiterating from that last video, but it still stands. It still stands. like to wrap it up, it's like I said, I swear to God, LooseCollector is making bootlegs of their own fucking figures, and it just blows my mind. It's like you would think by this point they would have, you know, found a better factory or some whoever's painting these figures. Like, you think they would have found a better factory that could make them look like these prototypes that they show and sell the pre-orders on for $80. Like, you would think they would have figured that out by now, but I would just have to guess that the main reason they haven't is because people keep fucking buying them. People keep buying them and they keep defending them, and it's like, you know what? You do you. If you want to shill for a shady little company that uses false advertising and sexual gimmicks to sell their shit, you know, a fool and his money is all I can say to that. But as for me, this was the last. Like I said, I had already paid these off. I haven't picked up or bought a single other LooseCollector figure since the Red Sonja and the Vampirella. Haven't bought a single one. Those I don't even have anymore. The only reason I still have Lady Death and Hell Witch is because I can't in good conscience, like, you know, trade them or sell them to somebody because they're broken. They're broken and they've been repaired multiple times. Like I said, just in good conscience, I couldn't like take that to my toy store and traded it. And like I'm just gonna have to hold on to those because like, they're broken pieces of shit. And just like those, these figures are kind of shitty too. It's aggressive mediocrity, and for whatever reason, it's being rewarded. Blows my mind, but hey, there you go. That is the LooseCollector, Chaotica, Lady Satanis, and La Muerta. Just more disappointing trash. Don't buy these. If you can cancel your pre-orders, I honestly would suggest doing it. Because just like a lot of the other LooseCollector shit, it's going to sit around for a while. It's going to go on clearance. Like, they can't even get rid of half those Lady Death figures. They still got piled up. So that's it. It's, like I said, I'm not even mad. I'm not even disappointed. I pretty much knew what I was going to get. I was just hoping. I was hoping that they would have learned their lesson by now and these things would have gotten better. And they would have gotten better QC. But apparently not. But like I said, as for me, I'm done. I'm done supporting this company. I'm done talking about this company. I'm done. I'm over it. I'm moving on. There are plenty of other options if I really want some half-naked females on my shelf. I mean, shit, I just picked up this just for fun, for toy photography. This figure right here. This little thing's fantastic. This cost me like $50. And it's got movable eyes, fantastic seamless articulation. It's a cool little figure. It's going to be a lot of fun taking pictures of this with like Deadpool and Earthworm Jim and all that. Oh shit. Yeah, before we go, here, how about this? How about another couple of slightly more premium figures that have just come out recently from a smaller company. These Earthworm Jim figures. These are absolutely fantastic. The Earthworm Jim, I mean, the articulation on Jim, it could be better. Psychro's arms are, like his arm, elbow articulation, like the range could be a little bit better. But for what they are, they're crazy good. And all the different heads that he comes with, like, they're so expressive and awesome. And then over here, you got a boring blow-up doll Chaotica, who they can't even put the paint of her teeth on right. Oh, for fuck's sake. All right, but you know what? That's it. I'm done rambling. Whatever. These figures, it just cracks me up. I'm so done with LooseCollector. LooseCollector, fuck you guys. You guys make terrible shit. Anyone who defends them, whatever. You guys are suckers. I'm moving on. You guys should too. But hey, you know, it's your money. Do what you want. But anyways, I'm the fuck out of here. Peace out.